Good morning, Oracles. Well, yesterday was a great day for Tesla. We saw the stock pulling back very early, and I wasn't sure, are we going to start making lower lows or not? And sure enough, the stock rebounded, came up, it outperformed the market, closed over $700 at 711, and now we are still staying above that higher low that we had at 695. So we're still trending in the right direction. A lot of things that have to come up over the next couple of weeks. We've got earnings, we have PPI data coming out today, a lot of earnings for all the S&P coming out, we've got the FOMC meeting, and then we've got GDP data coming out. Very busy 2 weeks ahead of us, so it could be a rocky road, but could also present some amazing buying opportunities. And for me, based on what Elon had said yesterday, I am really looking forward to some great buying opportunities. Elon stated on Twitter, lithium batteries are the new oil. We know how much oil right now rules the planet. Look at what it's doing to inflation right now. Look at how dependent so many countries are on oil. Now, not to say that we should become dependent on lithium batteries. I don't think that's a smart idea either. But if lithium batteries are going to be taking over the world when it comes to how we operate and use energy, I know for sure I want to be in it. Because ask yourself right now, if you were able to invest in the oil industry at the very beginning, would you have wanted to do that? I know I would have. And here we are at the forefront of the next revolution of energy coming out. We've discussed this in the past, how energy is going to be the next massive S-curve coming out of Tesla. We've got probably FSD and robotaxis along with energy on two separate S-curves going to be starting at about the same time. And that should be happening over the next 5 years with those two S-curves just starting. So when it comes down to it, do you want to be invested in lithium batteries if they are going to become the next oil? And also let me know if you guys think that lithium batteries are going to be the new oil. Personally, I think that's the direction that we are going. We're seeing a lot of this happening. It's going to be a long transition. It's not like by 2030, all of a sudden lithium batteries are going to be taking over everything and ruling the world. But I think by 2030, we are going to see that transition in full effect as we're switching over. So that's just my take on it, but let me know your opinions in the comments. Because I know that looking at all the pieces of the puzzle that Tesla is involved in, this is why any opportunity right now, buying right now where it was, and I still maintain that buying under $1,000 is a great buy. So the longer we have to buy the stock at this price, the better. And if we pull back even further, I'll be even more excited to buy more. And we have two new ratings coming out, two initiations, one from Truist at a buy rating of $1,000, and one from Canaccord Genuity at $801 with a buy rating. So again, I don't fully go by price targets a lot because they can be all over the place. But when it comes to the actual rating, which is a buy rating from both of these companies, that to me is huge. So when I see a lot of analysts coming out with buy ratings or outperform or overweight ratings, these ratings to me mean more than the price targets because this means that it is a buy. So the price target is just their opinion as to where they think it's going to be in the future, and they're usually pretty inaccurate. I mean, look at the spread that we have over on TeslaPriceTargets.com and how many different people are on there when it comes to price targets and how all over the place that can be. But that's why I want to see the ratings. Do you think it's a buy? And that is where we have the majority of people right now seeing Tesla as a buy. And now the next step to look at is, where do people want to go? What kind of demand do we have out there? And we have a report saying that 25% of Americans want an EV as their next vehicle. So again, getting into the process of moving up where we are having the EV revolution taking over, we have EV adoption growing faster than anticipated. Now looking at next year, looks like car sales will probably come up as the supply chain issues definitely ease. And it's probably going to be both vehicles. We're going to have both EVs and ICE vehicles getting sold. A lot of people need vehicles, and if EVs are not going to be available, ICE are going to be sold. It's just going to be the natural course of things. That's totally fine, but next year will give us a better sense of where is the EV market going when the ICE market is actually back up and functioning at a regular pace. Now, my take on this is a lot more people have now seen over the last year and a half the benefits of having EVs. So we are also going to get to that price parity point where EV prices are going to start coming down and match and then become under ICE vehicles. And so when that happens, that's really when the EVs are going to be taking off. Now, right now, there's not many companies who have lower end EVs, but that's going to happen because as the costs of materials come down, so will the prices of the cars themselves. You think about over time, when it comes to ICE vehicles, where they couldn't really cut costs anymore, so they had to come up with other creative ways to make profits, which is why a lot of legacy automotive makers make a lot of money from parts. So they've got to do parts and service, and that's where they get the majority of their profits from because they couldn't bring down the cost of the vehicles anymore. So the opposite is going to happen with EVs because EVs are now going through basically what tech went through. So, you're looking at iPhones, computers, things like that, and the prices come down over time because technology gets better. So you look at maybe a TV, you go back 10, 15 years, you get yourself like a 40-inch, LCD TV for $1,000. And now you can get yourself a 50-inch LED TV for like $300. So it's just, that's how technology deflation works, and Cathie Wood talks about that a lot, where you're going to get a lot better bang for your buck over time with technology. When it comes to EVs, it's basically like a computer on wheels, and so that's going to fall into that same category. So we're going to have prices of EVs coming down significantly because the cost of them is going to come down, and you're going to get a much better bang for your buck out of that, whereas ICE vehicles do not have that wiggle room to come down in pricing. And so then as that happens, we are going to see the EV adoption take off even more because a lot of people are buying vehicles because they're more affordable. So people may choose an ICE vehicle over EV even though they want an EV because the ICE is less expensive. Well, eventually over the next 5 to 10 years, that is going to reverse course. It might happen sooner than that, really depends on how cost of materials come down, but again, we'll track that as time goes on. And as that happens, that's where lithium batteries as the new oil is really going to take off. And this is where Elon has already said himself that seems like it's going to be the next roadblock that they run into over the next 3 years, which is why pushing for lithium is so important to them. And they don't want to get into mining or refining, but as he said, if they have to, they will, because that is going to be the next roadblock, and they want to be able to overcome that before it slows them down. And it's not just for Tesla themselves, it's for this entire transition altogether. Because don't forget, Tesla's mission statement isn't about EVs, it's about transitioning the world over to renewable, sustainable energy, and that is where the lithium batteries come in. And these lithium batteries aren't just for EVs, they're for all the mega packs that are out there also. And so any other companies that are involved in getting, EVs out there, mega packs, solar power like Enphase, companies like that are all going to be utilizing lithium batteries. So getting into lithium stocks may not be a bad option. Getting into battery production, not a bad option. And look at Tesla. Tesla is possibly getting into lithium refining. Tesla is doing lithium batteries. Tesla is making EVs that use the batteries. Tesla is making megapacks and battery backup that is using the lithium batteries. And guess what? Optimus going to be using lithium batteries. So looking forward to the future, how much lithium is going to play a massive role and how much Tesla is going to play a role in all of that moving forward. That is why Tesla is the place I want to have the majority of my money going forward. And so that's why I keep on increasing my dollar cost average and my daily additions. So I'm now up to $18 a day where I was at $15, and that should be up to about $20 per day by next week. Now I'm still putting a big chunk of cash aside just in case we do dip further, because if we do, I will implement some of that as we dip further to buy even more. And so my goal is still going to be 69% Tesla, because just seeing as we are going in the future, I want to be a huge part of that. And when it comes to my dollar cost averaging, I do it through SoFi, and so I just have it set and it does it automatically, usually within the first half hour of the day. So yesterday worked out absolutely wonderful for me because the buy triggered at 677, so very happy about that. Now granted, it's only $18, But still, that's $18 worth of bringing my cost basis down significantly, because right now my cost basis is at 804, and I should be able to buy my next full share in the next couple of days. So if we end up getting a little bit of a pullback again due to PPI data or anything else, then I will be able to get my cost basis below $800. Now, if we fall further than that, I might actually deploy some more cash. And again, I share all of my buys over on Twitter if you want to follow me there at OracleTim1. And so if we do fall further, I'm going to try to bring my cost basis down to 750. Again, we'll see how that happens. I'm going to be happy either way because, again, seeing as where Elon is seeing the future going, seeing as the statement of lithium batteries are the new oil, just makes me want to add more. So for all of you who are all in, I hope that that statement alone helped you feel a lot more confident in your decision to be all in. I just personally like to be more diversified. However, again, like I said, right now Tesla's 62% of my portfolio, and I'm looking to grow that even more. So I'm definitely committed to this long term, and I cannot wait to go on this journey with all of you. And some other news that some may find bullish and some may not, Andrej Karpathy has left the company. Now, some people anticipated it 4 months ago. He took his sabbatical. We've seen this happen in the past where somebody takes their sabbatical, comes back, and then they never actually return. So this has ended up what happening with Andrej. So we do wish him the best in his future endeavors. It is not parting ways on bad terms. But this also happened with JB Strobel a few years back. And look at what's going on. Now he has Redwood Materials, and Tesla's most likely going to be partnering heavily with them to get into battery recycling, because that battery recycling is going to be a major piece in the future when it comes to this lithium battery future where it's taking over oil. So that's a huge piece of it. Now, Andrej did say himself that there's hundreds of strong engineers over there, and he was just one of them. He just happened to be in the public eye more than most of the rest. We don't want to see Andrej leave. A lot of people really liked Andrej, but, we'll see how the future goes without him there. And Mars had mentioned over on Twitter how Tesla was basically planning this for the last year. Andrej had been kind of, talking about maybe departing ways. And so coming up to this, they were getting Ashok ready, who is in charge of the autopilot program himself. And now for the last months on the sabbatical that Andrej was on, was probably like a testing point for them to see, hey, can we actually do this without Andrej if he decides to not come back? Now, we all know that working for Tesla is definitely intense. And so it can definitely weigh on you. And especially being in the limelight and public eye like Andrej was, this could have been a lot, and it's probably just a point where he's hitting that wall and he was excited to come back, but it was probably just too much and he decided that yes, it is time to go. And Elon did thank Andrej for all of the hard work he has put in, and he said it was an honor working with him. And Elon himself has said in the past that, it takes a lot for him to really have high respect for the people he works with. So this is a huge kudos to Andrej for everything he has done for the company. And it'll be exciting to see where Andrej takes his future going forward. And maybe he'll end up doing something like JB did. And maybe it'll be something that Elon and Tesla can partner with whatever Andrej is doing in the future, because they have now built that amazing relationship. Let me know in the comments below, do you think that lithium is the next oil? Do you think we are going to see that actually happen in our lifetime? How far along in the transition do you think we are going to get by 2030? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because if this is going to happen, that is going to be an amazing generational wealth opportunity that I definitely want to be a part of. And also, let me know your thoughts on Andrej's departure. What do you think this means for the future of FSD and robo-taxis? Do you think it's going to be a positive or a negative thing, or do you think it's going to be neutral and they'll just seamlessly move along as they have been? Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. If you'd like to follow us more in the Discord chat, we have that link down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, I do have a Patreon. That link is also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.